So let's hit Josh's question on the screen right now. What do you think about mixers getting a point on the records they do? Should it be a standard practice or not? Yeah, I think it should be standard practice. I didn't always feel this way.
I get a point. I get a point on everything I mix.
Yeah, same. What I want to disclose, and I won't disclose what anything specific, but there was a very big record that I didn't get a point on that solidified the fact that I now deserve a point on every song. So I didn't get a point on something that now states that I need a point on everything else. So there's that's a bit of a personal thing.
Well, that's what we were talking about, which is the money follows the success.
Exactly.
You get a big record as an additional producer, then you get co-production forever. Yeah.
No regret not having a point on said record, because now it opened the doors to getting a point on everything since. I do think you have to pay your dues and be deserving of that to some degree, because I think what's deserving of a point is the way you're affecting the copyright, the way you're affecting the record. You coming in and making no moves and not doing anything to the record and kind of getting lucky being on it because you helped the producer like record a vocal, maybe. I don't know about that. I'm still like kind of, and I think a lot of people are going to say that's controversial and say, nope, if you worked on it, you deserve a point. Well, I don't know if that's true. I'm not 100% on that. But if you mix the record and you affected the sound of the record, I think you're deserving of a point.
Yeah, look, it's important, again, it ties back nicely to what we were saying, that you're gonna do the work before the money comes. But if you do great work, you actually may have mentioned what song it is on a previous stream, but we won't say it out loud. But when you mix a song or you're involved with a song that's a big hit, yeah, it would be nice to get a little bit more money or a little bit more percentage of it. But if you get the credit on it, then that's your career for the next 10 years or 5 years or whatever it is, because you did great work. So do it again on a bunch of other things. I mean, this is something that I mentioned on a previous stream where my dear friend, artist, producer, Chris Wallace, I was stressing about a song, about it going the right place or getting the right thing. And he's like, unless you think it's the last great song you're ever going to write, like just get it out in the world and move on. And it's a really important thing.
I know. And whether you believe it in the moment or not, that's impossible. That what you did was the last great thing you'll do. That's just not even a thing. That's not even possible.
You want your great work to be out in the world. And yes, you want to get compensated for it. But the other thing too, nobody is ever going to get adequately compensated for anything. You're always going to, the best people always do more work than they get credit for. They always, but those people get hired over and over and over. What you lose in one, or you don't feel like you completely get what you deserve in one instance, if you work harder than everybody else and do better work and do some of other people's jobs, you're going to get hired forever. And that's where it's the long tail where all that value is.
Yeah, agreed.
I've gotten to the point, you've gotten to the point where we get points on records we work on. Sometimes when I'm producing things in, hip hop realm, if you're a producer, you're also a writer, which is an interesting conversation. If you're in Nashville and you're a producer, you're never getting publishing. Right. And there's a whole spectrum in between. So sometimes I get hired to produce and I get publishing. Sometimes I don't. Depends on the project. Sometimes it's negotiable. Sometimes if somebody doesn't have a big enough budget to pay my fee, we do a larger royalty. We do a little bit of pub. These things are conversations that you and I now get to have, having had hits and having had success. But when you're starting out, do the great work, get the great work, and then once that work blows up, get your good credit, even if you didn't get all the money or get the point, and then apply that to your next, if you have a hit, the price goes up for the next one. Right? People say that all the time. You have a hit, price goes up.